I'm Roselyn, founder of the Soul Solution Strategist. The Soul Solution Strategist is a place where we explore various topics that will aim at creating quantum soul liberation in your life, in your work, and in your business. You'll notice that there's so many changes happening around us. And with many changes, it could feel chaotic, but with so much energy, there's also so much opportunity. If you have heard the call of creating change in your personal life, in the way that you work and how you do business, then you're at the right place, because you're going to be a builder of a new paradigm, of a new way of conducting the way that we do business. Coming from a paradigm of the scarcity mindset to a paradigm of abundance and wholeness. When we look around the world and we see the many issues that are troubling the globe, that are troubling nations, and we see that a lot of them are rooted in poverty consciousness, are rooted in trauma, we have to look at the way that we conduct ourselves on a day-to-day basis. Because when we look at the vast land and abundance that we actually have, the resources that are available to us, then we begin to question, why is there so much suffering? And it's in the way, and when we really dig deep and unlock this, we can really find the answers in the way that we have built our systems. And the way that we have built our systems really goes down to the quantum manifestations of who we are, who we embody, the values that we embody, and the way that we commence ourselves on a day-to-day basis, and the way that we do our business. All right, so I want you to basically begin to rethink business. I want you to begin to rethink work, because I want you to imagine your life as a living testament, right? When we look at the Bible, the Holy Sybil, it talks about, I want my life to be a living testament for you, right? What is a testament? A testament goes back to wills and trust, right? It is, a testament is basically, I'm telling you something that happened and I lived it, right? And so when we look at business and the way that we do business and how we want to create these liberating systems by analyzing and doing this inner deep subconscious superconscious shadow work, so that we can be living testaments. Our lives, our work, our businesses can be living testaments that bring glory to our higher selves, that bring glory to God. Then we have to first become more aware and accountable for our everyday actions. And that goes back to the way that we do our accounting. Okay? And so, like I said, let's take a big deep breath in, and then take a big deep breath out. All right. So let's hone in into the topic of business. Business is such a big yet simple topic when you get down to it. I want you to call back these thoughts, these ways that you have been conditioned to believe businesses. I want you to look at these big buildings that you see when you're driving, or perhaps you're looking at the e-commerce, or you're looking at online stores. I want you to really scratch all that out in your thoughts regarding what business is. We want to get down to the fundamentals of what business actually is. The manifestations that we're seeing on our screens as websites, as beautiful, perfect looking buildings, are the last piece. All right. These are the last pieces of what actually is a business. They're just a physical representation of what business is. And in all actuality, if we're looking at the conditions of the systems of the world, like I just said before, what do they mean? They're very illusionary. Anything can look good, but is it radiating good? Is it embodying good? Is it spreading good? Right? How far is it impacting change in people's lives and in the lives of the community? So we're going to reanalyze business by looking at the micro aspects instead of going into the macro. And when I talk about the micro, I'm referencing the universal law, as above, so below, and as within, so without. So we talk about the axes of scale. So this is very fundamental thing to understand, is to know that the subconscious mind is about 98% of your reality, 95 to 98%. I've seen different things. And the conscious mind, which is the physical manifestation, which is the action, right? That is about 5%. And so beginning to really choose to focus on the healing work, who you are, and becoming more aware of your values and challenging yourself to grow on a day-to-day business, to transform your life, is what's really going to transform the way that you work, the way that you live, and the way that you do business. All right? And so every action you do, when you have an action, it is a transaction. It is a deposit that is multi-layered in its meaning, because this action, this place that you are today, is layered with past actions and present actions, maybe influenced by yourself or by others, right? And so anything that you do is you creating and putting an input so that you can get an output. And so that really is adhering to the universal law of cause and effect. Anything that you do has a reason, right? And anything that you experience is an effect of something or comes from a cause. And that is when you begin to build awareness. Why am I here? How did I get here? And now to become the master of my life, to embody self-mastery, I need to begin to build this awareness of how I got here and become more intentional now in my actions so that I can manifest what I want, what I desire, and something that is reflective of greater values that are going to be not only beneficial to myself, but beneficial to my community. So your life is a living account. You are an accountant. Every action that you do is an account of something. It is a living trust. We talked about a living testament, a living trust, which when you chose to incarnate in this lifetime, in this body, you were first entrusted with the breath of life. Then you were entrusted with a body full of intricate systems. Oh my God, I will praise you because I am beautifully and wonderfully made. When you got here, you were then given institutions, you were given paradigms of reality, you were given perhaps a religion, you were given an educational system, you were passed down the values of those who perhaps raised you or not raised you or whatever. You were given a community, an ethnicity, and all of these things influence what you believe today and your everyday values. And your thoughts and all these things influence your thoughts, your actions, and your words. Every minute that you live is a trust minute. The values that you embody are reflective of how you commence yourself on a day-to-day basis and shape your day-to-day commerce. So I want you to begin to really breathe in those notions and then breathe that out. Knowing that you are the one, you are important, and you can bring transformational change into your world just by looking at the man in the mirror, just by doing this work. And you can have this living testament that you were able to create businesses, systems, work, and realities that were able to create massive quantum impact, not only in your life, but in the life of the community and in the reality of the world. This is Roselyn with the Soul Solution Strategist.